Thank you for joining me on the programme. So 9 billion a year still, plus available funds for other projects as they come up, other issues as they come up. Sufficient or not?
We would say not, no. The Liberal Democrats have been pushing for some time to return to the 0.7% of GDP. And the point about the percentage is that it's a sliding scale dependent on GDP. So when times are hard, it also slides down. So we would return to the 0.7%. It was at 0.5%, which is the lowest actually since before the Conservatives. And now it's gone down to 0.3. So it's a surprise, and it's not a welcome surprise.
Do you accept the need for more defence spending?
Yes, of course. And our leader, Ed Davey, he called for that on Friday. He pushed the government to raise it to 2.5%, but there are choices on where that comes from. And we don't think that the ODA budget, or the international development budget, should be raided in order to pay for the defence budget, because in fact it helps with defence, because the money that you put into preventing conflicts actually in the long run serves us well and means we don't go to war, because of course prevention is cheaper than war.
But not all of our overseas aid money is about preventing conflict, is it?
Oh, it is. A lot of it is about humanitarian aid, and in a time when there is, this year there's been 120 conflicts, deadly conflicts throughout the world, and you've got parts of Sudan in famine and the war in Gaza, etc. And the British public are very generous in this regard and would like us, to support those countries. But many of them are supporting emerging economies, and if those economies are strong, then it serves our security. It keeps also essentially our borders safe. As I said, there's a war in Sudan at the moment. Some people crossing on small boats are Sudanese. So to keep our borders safe and our country secure, it's important that we do spend on what may seem faraway conflicts, but actually they're not that far away.
I've just seen a statement come in here from Save the Children UK, who say they're stunned by this decision to cut the aid budget in order to increase military spending. They call it a betrayal of the world's most vulnerable children and of the UK's national interest. It's a much longer statement than that. Do you think it's a betrayal?
Look, there is a strategic argument here, and there is also a moral argument. The strategic argument I've laid out is within our national interest to keep our development spend up. It's also very important that Britain has huge influence in the global south, for example, because we have a very proud tradition in leading in international development. And when we pull out, other actors move in, like Russia and China, China with their Belt and Road Initiative. But there is also a moral argument. Yes, this is the world's poorest, and they need our help as they have never done before.
There is clearly a shift going on, isn't there, here, on our position in the world, Europe's position in the world. This particular cage that we're all in has been rattled, clearly, by the war in Ukraine, but it has been very seriously rattled by someone purportedly on our side, Donald Trump. Essentially, in the Commons today, did we see Trump policy win out rather than any UK policy win out?
Well, look, you're absolutely right. There has been an absolute ground shift since Trump took office. And actually, we were very dismayed by the USAID stop work, when all of that. And of course, the US is the biggest contributor to international development and aid. And when that was instituted, a couple of weeks ago by Musk and by Trump. But what we would have expected is that the UK step up. As we're stepping up in defence, we also have to step up in resetting Britain on the world stage and providing leadership on the world stage. And unfortunately, we seem to be stepping away.
I mean, Donald Trump, in a way, has pushed us away, hasn't he? Not on the world stage particularly, but pushed us away from America. And I wonder whether we're in a strange position, aren't we, where if Keir Starmer is forced, and it's pretty clear he has been, his hand has been forced here. If he is forced to announce what he has announced today by the utterances of Donald Trump, then we in the UK are in a position where America sneezes, we get a cold, still the case. The tail wagging the dog, all of those old expressions about our relationship with the United States, all at a time when the United States is saying, not quite you're on your own, but you're more on your own than you were.
Look, those messages are coming out of America. It's very important to engage with a very traditional ally, one of our closest friends. We need to engage, but also we need to remain closer and become closer with Europe. And of course, this is a well-known Liberal Democrat position. We need that close relationship with our closest neighbours. And you heard exactly the same thing coming out of Germany yesterday. We need that relationship with Europe to withstand the unpredictability of the new US administration, because we don't quite know where we stand. And while that is the case, we find our friends and we make our friends where we know our friends are, and our friends are in Europe.
When is the Liberal Democrat Party going to launch its Rejoin the EU campaign in that case? Because it's what you believe in.
Well, we've already called for a customs union, and we say
Not
that
the same.
they're not quite the same, but there is a four-step process towards that, and it's no secret in our manifesto. There is a four-step process towards rejoining the European Union, but right now, the most efficient way to get growth that the Chancellor and the Prime Minister are so desperately seeking is to rejoin the customs union, and that's what we're pushing for.
Thank you very much indeed, Monica Harding. Good to talk to you, Liberal Democrat MP for Esher and Walton and spokesperson for the Party for International Development. Let me